In fact, it's our honor to have Mr.
Yeah.
Chiwi here. So, anybody listening now, if you have any question about this topic of forming a offshore company, you can type your question right into the chat box, and I will start with the first question from me. So, Mr. Lee,
Yes.
there is a just now Ivana mentioned that there is one usage is to use the offshore company for dealing with royalty and intellectual property. I want to know more about those type of company, like how maybe you can give certain examples of how we can use that. Like normally, what kind of company they need this kind of offshore company formation to actually take advantage of the reducing withholding tax impact on royalties or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, intellectual property is certainly becoming very important to the organization for its branding and for its ability to grow very quickly in many countries. So let's take, let's say, a franchise like Secret Recipe, which I understand is a Malaysian-grown company.
Yes.
And Secret Recipe, I think, operates not only in Malaysia, but operates in several other countries in Southeast Asia. And potentially, if it's going to become a global brand, for example, like Starbucks and all that, with such IP rights, they are able to license other people to use the methodologies of operating the business, and from the profits earned, they pay a royalty. So what happens is that invariably in every country in the world, the governments will tax on the royalties that are earned by a licensing party. So let's say the owners of this licensing party wants to go into a certain country X. So it transfers certain technologies, it licenses that party in that country to operate the Secret Recipe business. That licensee makes monies, it pays royalties to the licensor. So there was going to be a tax, a withholding tax that is required to be held back by the licensing party. Now, the rates of the withholding tax can be quite high depending on the country. So what you have in place in the world would be countries that have negotiated tax treaties, which will include the ability to lower the withholding tax on royalties. So Malaysia is fortunate because Malaysia, as I understand, has a wonderful network of tax treaties with many countries in the world. And if the country X has the double tax treaty with Malaysia, then the withholding tax rate will tend to be lower because of the existence of the double tax treaty. Now, if there wasn't this double tax treaty in place between Malaysia and country X, then what tax advisors normally do would be to try to identify another offshore jurisdiction which might have an existing double tax treaty agreement with country X, because Malaysia does not have that. Okay. Now, you find a common intermediary country, incorporate a company, an offshore company in that country, which can then therefore take advantage of the lower withholding tax treaty rates with country X. And what you do then is that you license from Malaysia to the intermediary country, and the intermediary country's offshore company then licenses or sub-licenses to that country X. So that mechanism allows overall the minimization of the impact of the royalty rates. back to the owners of the secret recipe business. So I've taken a long way to describe this. I hope it makes sense to the participants.
Yeah,
But
I think
generally that's how it works.
I think you make a very good explanation now. I really understand how you can, in fact, take advantage of that. So what you're saying is if there is no such a double tax treaty between Malaysia and that country on this, particularly on this withholding tax on royalties, so you will, as an advisor, you'll find another offshore company that has existing double tax treaty with that country, so that it can
That's
become
right.
like just like an intermediary. I would say. Wow.
That's right. That's
Great.
right. In some cases, well, if you choose to leave the royalties offshore in that intermediary holding company or licensing company, then that's fine as well, right? And at some stage, these profits can always be remitted back to Malaysia. As I understand, foreign source income would not be taxable in Malaysia, generally, right?
Yeah.
So just now you mentioned an example is those are franchising company. So other than that, is there any other type of company that's will be applicable to use this structure?